Now we get to the bad. This is where we're not really contending for P5, 6, maybe 7. We're trying to not be in the bottom, right? This is we're not going to we don't want to lose against that team. We don't want to be that team. So this is the bad. The bad is simple. It's going to be Cadillac and it's going to be Audi. Why? Because they're new, and I put in quotations, to the sport. Audi is not actually new. For those that didn't know, it's just going to be Sauber, but now it's going to be Audi. Same thing, same partnership, whatever have you. Just a different branding, rebranding, reconstruction of the team. So it's going to be Audi. And then Cadillac, they bought their way into Formula One. So they are an actual new team, and they are going to be in the bad because we don't expect them to be good in the first year. Their lineup isn't made to be good in the first year with Valtteri Bottas and Checo Perez. Those are signings that the media is going to love. Those are signings that the fans are going to love, and the partnerships are going to love, and the brands are going to love. And that's exactly what it is. It's a foundation to build on. And I think that's exactly what this year is going to be for Cadillac. Cool livery. I mean, it's controversial, whatever, but we don't expect new teams to do anything crazy like that. So no offense to either team between Audi or Cadillac. It's just how it's how the cookie crumbles. You're a new team. You're still building. You're still learning how to be a team. Therefore, you go in the bad category. And then we get to the ugly. And if you know math and process of elimination, then you know what team I'm about to say. It's going to be a forgetful year for Aston Martin. And I'm not really sorry to say it either. They're going to drive Fernando Alonso into retirement, and it might be a little earlier than the end of the 2026 season. 4.5 seconds is what they're claiming to be behind the top spot. 4.5 seconds. It's not okay. That's not okay. Aston Martin was supposed to be a team to come into this year and contend for the midfield at least. You pay Adrian Newey this massive contract. One of, if not the best to ever do it in Adrian Newey. Fernando Alonso is a legend in his own right, who said, hey, look, if this is the car, this year might be my last year. He's 40-something years old. And then, whatever you want to say about Lance Stroll, you can say about Lance Stroll. It is what it is. He's good enough to stay. His dad owns the team. Nepotism at its finest. You stick with Honda because that's what Adrian Newey is familiar with. And Red Bull moved away from Honda because they feared that they didn't know if they were going to understand the 2026 regulations the way they wanted them to. And they might have been right because Aston Martin have looked bad. Really, really bad. Hence why I actually put them in the ugly category. It's really a disaster. I know Honda put out a statement. Honda Racing put out a statement the other day on social media explaining why the unit went bad. The last day of preseason testing in week 2, the engine failed. Therefore, I think Aston Martin was only able to complete under 50 laps. It might have been like 35 laps, maybe 60, something to that effect, when other teams are doing 120 laps. That's significant time that Aston Martin, of all teams, really needs to get this car to where it needs to be. So it's just another year of Aston Martin possibly not having it figured out. And now that you have Adrian Newey, it was kind of like you were pushing all your chips on the table if you're Lawrence Stroll, and it might backfire. This might be a year that backfires for Aston Martin. And I'm sorry to say, that is not going to look pretty. No matter how much money you can offer Max Verstappen, does he become a free agent, if you will? He's not going to go there if you don't have a good system, if you don't have a good car. He can put a tractor on pole, but he can't put a go-kart on pole. So 4.5 seconds, they're going to have to get that fixed. There's a lot of issues with that Aston Martin car. Will they get it fixed before the start of race weekend? I don't know. That is to be seen. But for right now, they fit in the ugly category. So there you have it. There's your top four, your middle four, and then you're bad, and then you're ugly. That's how I break them up in the four. Let me know what you think in the comments, TLPs. Let me know if you think there's a different team that needs to be in the midfield. If you think that Aston Martin's actually not that bad, and maybe I'm overreacting. That is exactly what preseason testing is for, is overreacting and acting like we know what the hell we're talking about when we might, but we might not, right? Everything could look different come race